Charles Oliveira's story is not the usual rise-and-win narrative we see in MMA. It is a journey filled with chaos, heartbreak, growth, transformation, and a chapter that was never truly closed. A chapter named Max Holloway. Before we begin, if you enjoy deep-dive fight breakdowns and dramatic MMA storytelling, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. Your support helps this channel grow and keeps these videos coming. All right, let's get into it. Charles Oliveira's career has always felt like a roller coaster. When he first entered the UFC, people labeled him as a young phenom, a naturally gifted fighter destined for greatness. But every time he stepped into the octagon, the outcome felt unpredictable. One fight, he looked unstoppable. The next, he seemed to collapse under pressure. Fans didn't know what to expect. Analysts didn't know Noss'll explain it. And the same question kept repeating across the MMA world. If Oliveira ever becomes consistent, who's going to stop him? Meanwhile, Max Holloway carved an entirely different path. Max never relied on mystery. He relied on dominance, confidence, rhythm. He walked into every fight with an energy that said, "This is my world. You're just visiting." His trademark head movement, his taunting gestures, the way he invited opponents to exchange, all of it combined into a style that wasn't just about fighting. It was about breaking the opponent's will. When Charles and Max first met in the octagon, no one predicted that the fight would one day be remembered through the lens of unfinished business. Oliveira suffered a sudden injury, forcing him to stop. It wasn't a traditional loss, yet the record books wrote it as one. The world moved on. Ama Charles Unutmadı. That day left something behind. Not anger, not hatred, but a fracture in his story. A fracture that only a future rematch could heal. Over the years, Oliveira went through ups and downs that would break most fighters mentally. Submission losses, weight issues, disappointing performances. Every setback chipped away at him. Yet somehow, all this pain didn't destroy him. It shaped him. With time, something inside Oliveira completely shifted. He stopped being the talented but inconsistent kid and became one of the most fearsome finishers in MMA history. His stand-up improved dramatically, his pressure increased, and his confidence reached a level nobody had seen before. He didn't just evolve, he transformed. Opponents no longer feared just his jiu-jitsu. They feared his ability to walk forward like a storm, absorb punishment, and still look calm, as if he had already predicted every exchange. This new Oliveira stacked win after win, choking out elite fighters, knocking out dangerous contenders, and capturing the lightweight title in spectacular fashion. And with every victory, people remembered that unfinished chapter with Holloway a little more clearly. On the other side, Max Holloway continued to be Max Holloway. Unfazed, unbroken, a fighter whose cardio seems endless and whose boxing IQ might be the best in UFC history. Max doesn't just fight his opponents. He analyzes them in real time, adjusts his rhythm, and turns the cage into his chessboard. Even when he loses, he never truly loses momentum. His spirit, his energy, none of it ever fades. So imagine this: a matured, fully evolved Charles Oliveira versus a more experienced, sharper than ever Max Holloway. That is why the MMA world keeps asking, if they fight again, would it be Oliveira's night of revenge? Let's break it down. Today's Oliveira fights with lethal pressure. He is no longer hesitant. He marches forward, throws power shots with confidence, and every moment of the fight feels like a threat. If the fight hits the canvas, it becomes a nightmare for any opponent alive. Max Holloway, though, offers something unique. A pace that never slows. A style that never panics. A stamina tank that feels bottomless. Oliveira's aggression versus Holloway's rhythm. Oliveira's submissions versus Holloway's accuracy. Oliveira's resurgence versus Holloway's legacy. This matchup is not just a fight. It is a clash between two completely different philosophies of combat. For Oliveira, a rematch would be symbolic, a chance to close the only chapter of his story that feels incomplete, a chance to prove to himself, more than anyone else, that the fighter he is today would never lose the way he once did. For Holloway, the fight would not be about revenge or closure. It would be another opportunity to prove why he is one of the greatest featherweights, maybe even one of the greatest fighters of all time. And that contrast is what makes this potential rematch so special, because no matter the result, the real winner would be the sport itself. Two elite fighters, two powerful stories, one historic moment waiting to happen. Before we wrap up, let me know in the comments, who takes it in a rematch, Max Holloway or Charles do Bronx Oliveira? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me for the next breakdown. Thanks for watching.